for freedom, this is it. Okay, this is it. This is going to be a powerful training, powerful call. And my goal tonight here is not to, hey, Vancouver, I see you. My goal tonight here is not to sell you anything. Okay, I'm not here to sell you anything. I am here to show you something. Okay, I'm here to teach you something and I'm here to give you something. Okay, so let's just come in with that posture. And you're going to see why. Exactly. I don't need to sell you. We're not here to sell you. We're actually looking for the people that are part of our destinies. We're looking for people that we are aligned with, and we're looking for people who we can really lock arms with and take this thing to the next level. All righty. So if you're excited, go ahead and drop a one. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to go ahead and dive right into this. So put away all distractions right now, and pay close attention to what I'm going to share with you, because this is going to be absolutely life-changing. All right. So with that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen and let's get into this. All righty. So I'm going to come over here. Sweet. Let me just blow this thing up. Okay, awesome. So guys, do me a quick favor. I'm actually on a new computer here. Let me know in the comments if you guys can see me okay. Drop a five if you guys can see the screen, if everything's coming in clear, if everything's coming in good. Just go ahead and drop a five. Okay, awesome. All righty, well, let's go ahead and get into this. So, what is moving and shaking, my friends? My name is Brandon Brown, and I am super excited that you made it here, because tonight is one of those nights that if you catch a vision for what I'm going to share with you tonight, and you are coachable, you are motivated, and you are hungry, this is that night that everything in your life changes. Okay, everything. So, whatever you got going on, put away distractions for the next hour or so, because this might be the most important video you watch this year. All right. Now, tonight, we're going to be talking about fire. Okay. And why the fire is burning inside of this community right now. And fire is actually a movement. Okay. And the movement stands for financially independent, retire early. Okay, so fire is actually an acronym for financially independent and retire early. Now, if that is something that you are interested in, then pay close attention. Okay. Now, really quickly, I want to just tell you a little bit about me. Okay, just so you can get a vision of who you're talking to, why you should listen, and why this training and this information has literally changed my life, unlike anything that I've ever witnessed, anything that I've ever been a part of, or anything that I've really ever seen. Okay, so I want to be very transparent with you. These are my high school transcripts. You can see on the screen right now that I literally am what's called a D student. Okay, I'm what's called a failure. All right, I was a special education student growing up. I had learning disabilities. I didn't go to college. You know, I'm just like your average kid from the hood who basically was trying to figure a way to make it in this life. And, I always felt like something wasn't right. Okay. Something wasn't right about the traditional school system. Something wasn't right about the educational system. And I just really wasn't motivated to get good grades in school. And so I was a D student. And you can see D stands for below average. Okay. Below average. And this is the self image that was projected on me in the school system. Okay. Because I got D's, you can imagine what kind of kid I was. I wasn't a bad kid, like getting in trouble with the law and things like that, but I definitely was not looked at as somebody who was going to be successful in life. Okay. And so if a D student who has no college degrees, no formal education can do what I'm going to share with you, then anybody can do it. Okay. And I've helped literally tens of thousands of people, online make money and follow this program. So if you feel like you're trapped, your back is against the wall, and you're looking for a way to spend more time with your kids, maybe bring your spouse home, maybe travel the world, maybe have some time freedom. We're going to talk about fire. Okay. And we might talk about the Holy Ghost fire if you warm me up. Okay. Just to keep it real with you. But we're gonna let the Holy Ghost flow, and we're gonna talk about fire. Okay. Now, here's why this is important to understand. Okay, because just like me, some of you guys might be looking for a second chance. Okay, you might be looking for a second chance of life. It doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how much you failed, it doesn't matter what you're going through. You might be looking for a second chance. Tonight is that second chance. Okay, tonight is that chance where you can rewrite history and rewrite your whole family's lineage. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Okay, now let's talk about this. Okay, again, FIRES. It stands for financially independent, retire early. Okay. Now, what you're looking at on my screen, and I don't know if it's being cut off a little bit or if you guys can see this, but essentially what you're looking at on my screen right here is 4 different ranks. Okay. One is 682-4, which you might not, you're not going to understand what that means right this second, but you're going to. 682-3, 682-2, and another 682-2. Now, these beautiful souls, okay, right here are my children. All right. And I decided that I wanted to hustle for my last name, not my first. Right. So I changed my entire way of thinking, my entire way of being, because I want to be here for these kids. Okay. I want to be present for them. I don't want TikTok raising them. I don't want Instagram raising them. I don't want the little, punk kids out on the street, bullying my kids, raising them. I want to bring my kids up in the way of the Lord, and I want to be present. I want to be in the home. I don't want to be away for 8 to 12 hours a day. I want to be at home with my kids. Okay. And you might have that passion too. Okay. Because I remember being dropped off, at daycare, having to spend 8 hours away from my parents, crying, wanting to go home while they're working for somebody that they never even seen before. Okay. And if you have dreams like that, 682-4, 682-3, 682-2, this is going to make sense for you here in just a second. And I've got a plan for you. Okay. I have got a plan to get you home to your kids, get you home to your babies, bring your spouse home, whatever your plan is. I can help you. Okay. I promise you that. And it can be done quick. Okay. So I want you to just remember these numbers. Okay. Now, let me share some quick numbers with you real quickly here on why those numbers that I just talked about are so incredible. Okay. So what you're looking at my screen right now, you can see right here, it says quarterly group financial support for the month of June. Okay. So what I'm going to be showing you today, the system pays me every single quarter. Okay. Literally for the rest of my life. All right. Imagine if you were being able to get a check from $1 billion company for the rest of your life every single quarter. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole logistics of how this breaks down, but remember I showed you that number 682-3. Okay. So you can see here title 682-3, Brandon Brown, and you can see here $74,000 was paid to me. Okay. This was passively. Okay. This was passively. And you can also see here that because I live in Canada, it was $103,000. Okay. These kind of checks come every single quarter, and they will come for every single quarter of my life. They will come for every single quarter of my kids' life. Okay. This is what we mean by FIRE. It is finding a way to get financially independent and to retire early. Okay. And this is what I want for you. Okay. This is what I'm speaking over your life, because I need your spouse to come home. Okay. Especially the men, right? It's like I hang out a lot during the day and it's just all moms. I'm like, where are the dads? Like, where are the dads? Okay. So we want to bring the dads home for sure. We want to bring the moms home, but I want you just to imagine what it would be like to walk out into your bank account or walk out into your mailbox and get a check for 74,000, actually 100 grand. That's what it is in Canadian every single quarter. Okay. And for those counting, that's $400,000 every single year passively. And this is, what I've been able to get to. Now, this is just one of the checks that I get for the rest of my life, and it's going to continue to grow. I'm going to explain that to you here, but I just want to tell you that, a lot of times you come to these meetings and you hear about, the presenters telling you about somebody's uncle's cousin's brother that they know that's successful. Well, guess what? I'm the uncle. Okay. I'm the cousin that the people normally talk about that's successful. And tonight you have a way to lock arms and bring your family home. Okay. And again, I'm just laying the foundation. Okay. Because, you know, the reason why I got successful was I caught a vision. Okay. And there's not too many people that that bring home 400K passively. Okay. And this isn't even including the monthly checks. Okay. This is just the quarterlies. All right. Now let's keep cooking. So, what has this business been able to do for me? Okay. And the reason why I'm sharing this, not to brag, I'm sharing this because I want you to catch a vision. If God will do this for me, he'll do this for you. Okay. Now, this has allowed a D student to homeschool my kids. Okay. Because I'm not putting them in no traditional education school. We've been able to fly first class to Europe. In fact, this is two of my daughters right here that I just showed you that have the legacy income watching Toy Story on first class. They all had their own little cabins in first class. This is actually in Portugal. This beach is called Nazaré. It's the beach with the biggest waves in the entire world. This is my beautiful wife. Us building our dream home right here. This is me at Gucci. I know people see Gucci and it really rubs them wrong, but this is just my life. Okay. Don't take it up with God if you feel some type of way. I'm just telling you my life. Okay. This is actually my wife's wedding ring. Now, why am I sharing this 2 carat wedding ring? This thing was over 6 figures with this ring and this band from Tiffany's. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I first moved to Canada, I was flat broke. When I got married to my wife, I couldn't afford a wedding ring, guys. Okay. I got married in her mother's living room with her mom and dad's old wedding rings because they're divorced. That's all I could afford. Okay. Then when I started making a little bit of money, I went to Costco and got her a ring. Okay. I think it was like $2,000 from Costco. All right. And then I decided that I want to go all in because she stuck by me. She stuck with me. And she's a big part of the reason why I'm here. And by the way, she has her own business that's generating multiple 6 figures every single year as well. Okay. And so these are just some of the things that I've been able to do. And again, I don't say this to brag. Okay. I share this with you because I know this is possible for every single person who is on this call. Okay. If you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're not skeptical, okay, this is for you. All right. Now, I want to educate you. Okay. I don't want to just talk about what I'm doing. I want to teach you what I learned here. Okay. Now, what I learned is that we are being ushered into what's called the poverty cycle. All of us. Okay. This is the default standing for every single person in the world, right? It's like some people came together and they're like, okay, we're going to put everybody in poverty, right? And in order to break the poverty code, you have to be able to decode the matrix. Okay. And again, I'm not here to sell you anything. So if you got to go, if you got something better to do, go ahead and go. Okay. But for those who really want a breakthrough, pay attention. Okay. Because I want to coach you through this. All right. Now, what I became to realize when I was broke on government assistance, sleeping in my car, having to choose between gas and groceries, I I took a step back and I said, why is everybody in poverty? Why is everybody go to school, get a good job, but they're still broke? They're in student loans, they're in debt, they're in credit card debt, their spouses are working all kind of crazy hours. It's like we were set up for failure because we were. Okay. Now, this is the system that we were all ushered into. Okay. Basically, they bred us to work a 9 to 5 job and stay on this treadmill. Okay. To work for income. Now, that income, what they do is they take that and they pay the banks. What the banks do is the banks then take our money and they lend it out to investors. Okay. And I'll talk to you more about that here in just a second. Then what we do is we get stuck on this hamster wheel because they overinflate everything and we become consumers. So now we have bills. And then we have, some people only have 1 week to 2 weeks a year for, I think it's called like PTO, paid vacation or paid time off or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I haven't clocked into a job in like 15 years, so I'm not really sure. But I know that they dangle some kind of vacation in front of you, like some grapes, and they say, you work and you're gonna get 2 weeks off, but you gotta reserve the time off like a year and ahead. It's wild. Okay. And then when you do go on vacation, it's like you don't have any savings because they keep inflating everything. And then that ends you up getting in credit card debt. And now you're back in the cycle. And it's just a cycle of poverty, right? That's what we call a cycle of poverty, which is passed down to you, your kids' kids, and it just keeps on going. Okay. And if you don't believe me, go back and ask your parents. Okay. They did the same thing. Now, my question to you is if you're in this cycle of poverty, when are you going to break it? When is somebody going to step up and say, you know what? I'm opting out. I'm no longer going through this anymore because my parents went through this, their parents went through this, and their parents went through this. And it don't matter if you're black, white, Asian, all that race stuff is a joke. Okay. We are all in this together. We're all in poverty and we got to break the chains. Okay. So if you are ready to break the chains, drop a 2. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's a runaway slave. There's a runaway slave from the Matrix that has come back to give you the information to snap the chains. And it's not just about you. This is family-wide, generational-wide trajectory that we're talking about here from this one thing, because this is how it happened to me. I saw one presentation like this and my life changed. Okay, so today we're going to break these chains and we're really going to get you guys in a place, where you can do better. Okay, and so let me just tell you how I got out of this. Okay, and we're going to get to the good stuff here, but I need you to understand where you are right now. Okay, because it's not just affecting you, it's affecting your kids and their kids and their kids. So the way I got out of this was I actually learned how to decode the matrix. All right. And I'm going to decode it for you really quickly here because it's important that you understand this if you want to get out of this poverty cycle. Now, what I learned is that the answer to breaking out of poverty was hidden in plain sight. Okay. It was hidden in plain sight. You might be saying, Brandon, what do you mean by that? Well, I realized that the only way out of the poverty cycle is through the same thing that keeps you in the poverty cycle, which is debt. Okay, this is how they get us, right? The same thing that's keeping you in the poverty cycle is the same answer to get you out of the poverty cycle. But like Albert Einstein says, you can't change something at the same problem of or the same level of thinking it was created. Okay, so if you created poverty at one mindset, it takes another mindset to get out of that poverty, but it takes the same strategy. So what I realized was that all the rich people use debt. All the countries use debt. All the big businesses use debt. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he bought Twitter with debt. When the US needs things from China or Canada or this place, they use debt. Okay? That's why there's called a debt ceiling, right? Rich people use debt. Broke people use their income. Okay, you gotta understand this. Until you get that, you are going to struggle because you're not going to ever be able to outwork inflation. You need to use debt properly to build assets, to get write-offs, and to do things the way that the financial institution was established. Okay, drop a 1 if you're catching a light bulb right now. There's no way out of this. You either work to your 65 or you learn how to use debt to get free, because that's what all rich people do. Okay. Now, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt is when you take debt to buy an asset. An asset is something that you put money into and it returns cash flow. It returns revenue. It returns income. Okay. That's the only way out. Right? Because when they inflate things, if you have an asset, that thing will produce more money. Okay? Like every time, something happens in the economy and prices go up, guess what else goes up? My asset, my commissions go up because they're actually tied to it. Okay? So this is what I had to wrap my head around in order to become free because there was no way to work myself out of this. Okay? Now, here's the last thing I want to teach you before we get into the meat and potatoes here. What rich people do is they don't spend their earned income. Okay? They spend what's called unearned income. This is income that they acquired from an asset that is working for them. If you want to never go broke again, okay, only spend unearned income. That means that the money that you are working for at your job, if you continue to pay your bills, pay this, pay that, guess what? You are never going to get out of poverty. Never. And you're going to go further in debt because you don't have the education. Okay. So what I did was I took this debt, right? I took loans and I went out and I found a business model that can produce what's called legacy income. And so that way I could build something that could pay me for the rest of the time. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you how to do tonight. Okay. Again, information like this is rarely taught. I get it, but I'm trying to free you from the matrix tonight. Okay. All right. Now, here's the deal. This was how I actually figured out how to get rich. Okay. The way I figured it out was I realized that, okay, there's something called the 4 quadrants, and every single person who is in existence is in one of these 4 quadrants. And depending on which quadrant you're in, okay, I can tell you right now what your finances look like, what your marriage looks like, what your household looks like, and what your health looks like. Okay, I can just tell you. Okay, now most of us are born into the E and the, well, not even the S. We're born into the E quadrant, which is employee. Okay, right now your kids are going to school to be employees. They don't teach entrepreneurship in schools. Employee. Okay. Now, employees trade time for money, which means that it's not just time, right? But it's their health. It's the time away from their kids. It's the time away from their finances. It's the time away from their relationships. It's the time away from God. They trade time for money. Okay. I want you to catch this. So as long as we can get people to trade time for money, they'll never get their stuff together. Okay. Now, most of us, we wake up and we be like, okay, this ain't working. Right. Now we go be self-employed, which means that we start a business. But the problem with starting a business is you're still trading time for money. And now you don't have a guaranteed check. You're just doing stuff. Okay. Now, what rich people do is they get over here to the other side. Okay. The other side is the business owner side / investor side. Okay. And you can make a choice today. Okay. To switch sides. Okay. Now, what's the difference between a business owner and a person who's self-employed? The only difference is that the business owner has a system. Okay. The business owner has a system. The self-employed person just has a business. You don't want a business. You want a system. Okay. And the investor, what they do is they take the money from their system and they reinvest it back into assets to produce more assets. And that's how people become financially free. Okay. So I'm going to be showing you how I did this tonight, the program, the product, everything that I did. And then at the end, you're going to get an opportunity to lock arms with us. Okay. Because we have a movement going on right now. This is the FIRE movement. Okay. And if, like I said, if you've been looking for something, this is it. Okay. So let's get into this. Now, the first thing I realized is that if I wanted to go from being a flunky, right, a D student, to becoming financially free, I needed to find an industry to go to. Okay. And I needed a specific type of industry. Okay. And through the grace of God, okay, one day I was at this restaurant called White Spot, and someone introduced me to the water industry. In fact, let me take a drink of water really quick. While we get into this, okay? Now, let me tell you why the water industry is, in my opinion, the most profitable industry if you want a chance at becoming rich. Okay, I can't promise you you're going to be rich. No one can. Okay, but I'm just telling you, if you want a chance, let me tell you what I found here. Okay, now, did you know that the water industry has an estimated $655 billion revenue since 2021? Okay, that's almost $1 trillion in water sold every single year. Let that sink in. Almost $1 trillion. Okay. Now, here's why I never fell in business. Okay. I'm going to tell you the secret, and I'm going to go into a little bit more of this deeper in just a second. If the water industry is a $655 billion per year industry, what I need to do is I need to look at the trends and I need to locate, okay, where is this water industry going to be in the next 5 to 10 years? And what sector of that industry can I put myself on the cutting edge of? So by the time the rest of the world catches up, I'm already set up, ready to distribute into an industry that already has a proven track record to make money. Okay. Drop a one if that makes sense. Making a lot of money is not hard. Okay. The, the reason why people fail is because they're like, oh, well, I like baking cookies, so I'm going to start a cookie shop. Or, oh, I like doing Etsy, so I'm going to do an Etsy. Or, oh, I like doing real estate because no. Go where the money is projected to go and put yourself ahead of that trend and you will make money. It's actually very easy. Okay. So we know that this is a $655 billion industry currently, but we're going to look at the projections and why I jumped into this. And we have sold over $100 million on social media of this product I'm about to show you. Okay. All because I found this trend. Okay. So let me break this down for you. Okay. Now, did you know that about 400 billion liters of water is sold every single year? All right. And some of the key players that are involved with the water industry are Nestle, Pepsi Cola, Fiji Water. I mean, there's so many people. Okay. Now, here's the kicker. Unless you're a shareholder, and it's unlikely that you are, okay, you and I will never be able to take advantage of this type of boom. Why? Because we don't have the distribution channels nor the opportunity to make our own bottled water and ship it globally. Okay. So for most people, that's where the buck stops, and these countries these businesses will continue to generate billions of dollars per year with water. Okay, and you and I, we don't have that shot, but that's okay because you see the market's changing. This is why you got to study trends. You see, consumers are becoming increasingly health conscious, and they're actively seeking out alternative ways to get healthier. And after evaluating over 18 bottled water products, one study found that there's 25,000 chemicals in water. Okay, so every time you drink water that comes out of your sink, that comes out of a bottle, you're pretty much drinking plastic. Okay, this is disgusting. And consumers have been growing more aware of the environmental impact on bottled water. And the production and the disposal of plastic bottles is damaging our planet and our ecosystem. All right. Now, all of this is expected to hinder the market growth of bottled water. Okay. Drop a one if you're starting to see more people carrying jugs of water versus bottled water. Remember, everybody used to buy bottled water. Now everybody's got a jug. Right. And that's because people are starting to wake up to how powerful water is. Okay. And this is a trend. This is an emerging trend that you and I can capitalize on. All right. Now, change brings opportunity. And like I told you, successful people understand this. If you want to get wealthy, okay, you've got to put yourself ahead of cutting edge trends and market cycles. It's really that simple, guys. You don't need all this college, all this school. No. Find an emerging trend, put yourself on the cutting edge. Okay. So what's the next big thing? Right? Because we know that bottled water is a $500 billion. What's the next big thing? Oh, well, we believe the next big thing is water ionizers. Okay. And you might be like, Brandon, what is a water ionizer? That sounds like something from Back to the Future, like the flux capacitor, right? No, my friend. Okay. It is a piece of technology. Okay. But it is not a DeLorean. Okay. So let me tell you what an ionizer is. So MarketWatch has the water ionization industry going to $3.4 billion by 2027. It's 2025 right now. Okay, we are early. Okay. The global alkaline ionizer market size is estimated to be 1.3 billion in the US alone by 2021, and by 2028 is projected to be 1.75 billion dollars by 2028. Okay, so this is a massive market. Okay. Now, the preferred product that we use actually is a distribution company for water ionizers. And right now, we only have 3% market share, and they are a multi-billion-dollar business. Okay. And it's built off the backs of people like you and I. That's what's exciting about this. Okay. So this is what's called a trend. It doesn't matter what you like to sell, what you like to market. What are the trends? Okay. Now watch this. The name of the company is called Enagic. Okay. And Enagic is a very, very powerful company. In fact, celebrities like Kevin Hart, Mariah Carey, Grant Cardone, Kylie Jenner, Floyd Mayweather, the LA Dodgers, Tom Brady, okay, they all own these machines. Okay, they all own this technology that allows them to have the clearest, cleanest, and healthiest drinking water. And this is going to spread like wildfires. Okay. So the flagship product is called the Level RK8. Okay. This is Enagic's flagship product. And basically, this piece of technology is a water ionizer that has 8 platinum dipped plates. And these plates are solid titanium plates. Okay, so this is literally medical grade. This thing produces medical grade water. Okay, it has 560 square inches of ionization surface. It cleans itself. It's intuitive, interactive. It has an HD touch panel. It works just like an iPhone. Okay, speaks 8 different languages. Has about 68 different use cases. It's portable. It accepts all type of electrical power. It has intelligent filter chips which track the water usage. I mean, this is technology. Okay, welcome to the future of water. Okay, and if you don't have one of these, my friend, let me tell you, you are doing yourself and your family a disservice. Okay, because the future of water is now. Okay, and let me explain why. Okay, here are some of the incredible use cases of this technology. Number one, the 2.5 water acts as a sanitizer. Okay, it kills 99% of germs on contact. All right, you just press a button and now you have this disinfectant that you can use. And I mean, this thing works like it's like it works like a charm. Okay. Then you have the beauty water, which is the 6.0. Okay. And the 6.0 water is the same pH level as your skin. Okay. If you look at me, I don't have any wrinkles. Okay. Flawless skin. Why? Because I use the 6.0 toner every day, right? I spray it on my face. I wash my face with it because it's the same pH as the skin. That's why I look so young. People are shocked when they find out how old I am. They're like, dude, you look way younger. I'm like, I know, because of the 6.0, right? Then we have the clean drinking water. This is the stuff that you can use in baby formula. Listen, if you know anybody with a kid, oh my goodness, please get them on this. Okay. Because they're feeding their kids water with chlorine, like a hormone. I mean, this stuff is crazy, right? But the 7.0 is the clean drinking water. Okay. I'm just going to leave that there. The 8.5 is the hydrogen rich water. Okay. Which works to restore your body back to an alkaline state. And it's good for optimal health. It actually promotes better sleeping. It gives you more energy, and it can even help you lose weight. Okay, did you know you can drink water to lose weight? Come on, man. Like this technology is crazy. Also, we have the 9.5 alkaline water, which is also drinking water, but it uses to flush out toxins. It deeply hydrates the body at a cellular level. It allows for increased immunity against diseases. And then we have our 11.5, which is what we use to wash our vegetables and our fruits with, which basically removes pesticides, herbicides. It cleans greasy surfaces. And guess what? It can even act as a laundry detergent. Okay. This is the future of water. Okay. Water was not just designed for one thing. Okay. There are 68 different use cases with this, and every family will have this just like a microwave. The question is, do you want to get on the cutting edge of this, or do you want to get left behind? Okay. That's up to you. Now, the company has been around for 51 years. It's based in Okinawa, Japan, and it has some of the highest grade certifications in existence for a business. In fact, there are PubMed, if you don't know what that is, do your Googles. There are PubMed articles about this type of water and what it does, this company, and it is crazy what you can get your hands on if you really know what you're looking at right now. Okay. Now we also have offices in over 28 countries and over 43 locations. So everywhere from Vancouver to Australia. These are walk-in offices. You can go talk to somebody. You can do business there. And this is our opportunity because remember, I told you we need distribution. So we have distribution channels all over. So literally, we can act as a Pepsi or a Coke because we got worldwide distribution. If I wanted to move my family to Brazil right now, I could literally go to Brazil and I could set up shop there, work out of the Brazil office, and voila, I now got a business in Brazil. Okay. Hong Kong, I mean Indonesia, Singapore, everywhere. Okay. Actual offices with actual people. Okay, then we have a couple other powerful units. Well, one is our Anespa DX. This is our continuous shower unit, which gives you this mineralized water. Oh my goodness, when you try this thing, you will never take a shower or anything else again. It removes chlorine, it removes harmful chemicals, it keeps the body moisturized, hair health, skin, everything. I mean, you just glow, okay? Because you're no longer taking a bath in chlorine, right? Tonight, you're going to go take a bath in chlorine if you don't have this. I'm just being honest with you. And you remember when you were a kid and they're like, yo, when you get out the swimming pool, take a shower. Why? Get the chlorine off you. Now you're literally sleeping in chlorine. Okay. You're like, we might as well call you a swimming pool. Okay. Because when you don't have one of these, you are sleeping in chlorine. Okay. Then we also have our turmeric supplement. Oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. Okay, it is organic turmeric infused with Kangen water. It's a natural antiseptic. It has anti-aging properties. It improves skin conditions. It speeds up the healing process. It's a natural antiseptic. It's anti-inflammatory. I mean, I can just keep going on and on and on about this. Okay, this thing is amazing. Okay, we have amazing products here. Okay. But I get it. Some of you guys are like, B, I'm not here for the products. I'm here for the money. Okay. And that's how I was. I was like, listen, I grew up drinking out of a water hose, fam. I don't know too much about pH levels. I didn't even know what a pH level was until I started this business, right? So I don't know too much about all that, but I like the money. Okay. So let me show you the money. Okay. Now, in order to understand this, you need a paradigm shift. Okay. You have to change what's going in to change what's coming out. Okay. And you can't solve a problem at the same level of thinking that you created the problem at. So if you came into this with problems, you need to expand your vision. Okay. Open your mind. All right. Now you're looking at two guys on the screen right now. One is named Ray Croxton. The other one name is Colonel Sanders. And I've been studying these guys since I was about 14 years old. Okay. Now let me tell you why. You see, these guys taught me about building a legacy. Most people are going to go to work, retire at 65, and they're going to leave their kids with no legacy. Why? Because they spent 30, 40 years working for somebody else's legacy. I said, nope, I want to build my legacy. Okay. Now there's four things that create a legacy. It's memories, mindset, money, and morals. Okay. And these are things that you want to leave your kids with that if you don't spend time with them, right? All they're going to remember is that my dad used to go to work every day. My mom used to be stressed out. They used to argue because they were tired. They don't have money. You don't want that to be your legacy. Okay. You want to leave a legacy. Now, the Bible actually says in Proverbs 13:22 that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Okay. So your parents, my parents, they're supposed to leave an inheritance. But how could they leave an inheritance if they're working a 9 to 5? You can't leave a job. But you could leave a job. You understand what I'm saying? You can't leave a job, but you could leave a job. Okay. So I want you to just think about that. Every day you go to work, I get it. You got the bills, you got this, you got that, but you can't leave a job. So that means that your kids are going to be enrolled in the same problems that you're enrolled in right now because your parents were the enroller. Hello, somebody. Okay. But tonight, I'm going to get you enrolled in a different type of legacy. Okay. Because we got to break the cycle. All right. So, how do we do this? Well, we do this with something called the franchise prototype. Okay. This is a business model that 99% of people will never understand. Okay. Now, pay attention to this. Okay. Now, I want to share with you guys a little secret about McDonald's, the Golden Arches. Okay. Most people, when they see McDonald's, they say, Brandon, McDonald's is just a business that sells burgers, shakes, and fries. Just like people say, Brandon, a Nagic is just a business that sells water, but they're wrong. Okay. McDonald's is a franchise. Okay. McDonald's is in the real estate business and they are in the franchise business. Okay. They're in the real estate business and they're in the franchise business. Their product is burger, shakes, and fries, but their business model is opening up franchises. Now, what's unique about opening up a franchise and why they make so much money? Because they can find entrepreneurs like you and I and give us an opportunity to start a business. We pay them about $2 million in capital. We get access to the blueprint, the Golden Arches, and voila, we have a McDonald's. And then we go sell the burger, shakes, and fries while they continue to expand their business to duplicate their model. Okay, this is going to make sense here in just a second. Now, there's also KFC. A lot of people think KFC's in the chicken business. This is what Colonel Sanders started, but no, they're in the franchise business. The franchise business is the business of giving other people an opportunity to be entrepreneurs, not selling the actual product, which is chicken, fries, and drinks. Now, why is this important? Because Anagic is one of the only businesses, okay, that I know that pays like a franchise, okay, actually more, to be honest with you, because I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah, they pay more, and I don't have to invest $2 million to start a franchise. And guess what? I get to be like McDonald's. I get to either sell the burger, shakes, and fries, which would be the drink, which would be the water units, shower units, the Ukons, or I can run the franchise prototype and I can go find other entrepreneurs to help them establish their business. And I can get a cut, a royalty like McDonald's does off every single person that is selling these units. Let that sink in. That check I just showed you that comes a quarterly for 100 grand, that's because I run it like a franchise. I go out there and I find people to build businesses. Okay. Comment builder if you understand what I'm talking about. I'm not out there like Chris Gardner hustling, medical degrade vices. What I'm doing is I'm going to go find people who literally want to start a business, who want to bring their family home, who want to do more. And I'm going to bring them in under me, just like McDonald's does. And I'm going to get them started with their franchise prototype. This has changed my life. Okay. And I'm going to keep on building this for the rest of my time. And I'm going to pass it down to my kids and they're going to keep building it. And we're going to keep investing into real estate and stocks with that money. And this is our way out. Okay. This is why this is so powerful. Okay. So don't think about, oh, I got to come in, I got to sell a water machine, a water unit. No, you don't got to sell that. You're going to want to sell it because when you see the benefits of it. But what you want is you want to be a builder. Like McDonald's has locations all over the world. You want to have people all over the world who are evangelists for this company, for this business, and you get a cut like I do off every single person, which we're going to talk about here more in just a second. You better get fired up right now, okay? Because this is incredible. Now, why is this the most important time in Anagic history for you to get started with this? Okay, it's very, very simple. Okay, again, I'm giving you some more business stuff that they don't teach you in school. Every single business goes through something called a J curve. Okay, a J curve. What's a J curve? Well, it's how you predict profits. Okay, so this is how you predict profits. Everything has a current state. Okay, let me give you an example. You guys remember Nokias? Nokias, do you remember those little blue Nokia phones? Drop Nokia in the comments if you remember those blue Nokia phones. Okay. You guys remember those little blue brick Nokia phones? Okay. They were called dumb phones, right? Dumb phones were really popular back in the day. Not because we were dumb, they were just dumb phones. Then what happens is the market shifted. It was disrupted by what? What was the market disrupted by? Put it in the comments. What was the market disrupted by? Okay. We had dumb phones. Then there was a market disruption. What happened? What kind of phones came? Type it in the comments. Somebody said Blackberries. Smartphones, exactly. Dumb phones, smartphones. Okay. Now, remember, the disruption period was the BlackBerry, right? But somebody was smart enough to catch on and say, wait a minute, dumb phones are going to be obsolete. Blackberries are coming in. People like that. Let's expand on this disruption, right? And then what happens is Steve Jobs came in, created the iPhone. You remember there was an adverse impact on performance in the beginning. That was the BlackBerry. You better catch these bars. Remember, the adverse impact was the BlackBerry. Then the tangible benefit became the iPhone, the smartphone. And next thing you know, it's all history. Everybody's got iPhones. Everybody's got smartphones now, right? That's how disruption works. Okay? Let me tie it all together. Current state, people are drinking chemicals, chlorine, poisonous water. Okay? They know that drinking out of plastic is bad. BPA is bad. Disruption. People starting to carry water bottles. It's hindering the market. Okay, you better catch on, right? Now, we're going to go through an adverse impact right now because people are like, well, I don't know if I want to spend this money on a water ionizer, blah, 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 right? Now you can see it all over. It's happening right now. People are starting to come out with more products. Tangible benefits are now being sold on mainstream because now people are like, why would I put my kids in chemicals? Why would I cook with chemicals? Why would I drink water that has a low pH level? Why would I drink acidic water? Why would I drink water that's not serving me? Think about that. So now we're getting to a tangible benefit, and we're just the beginning. Okay, this company is only 51 years old. That's still a long time, but I think by 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years, there's going to be people making astronomical amounts of money here. Okay, and now you have an opportunity to get in. So I'm just showing you how things work. Okay. Now, again, look at the market projections. Don't take my word for it. Okay. Smart people have studied the ionization market and said it's going to increase by 8.7% between 2022 and 2032, which means by 2022, we're looking at a $5.67 billion market. The only question is, how much of that do you want? Because we got the company that can do the distribution globally. You're gonna read about us because they're gonna be like, man, these people have made hundreds of millions of dollars selling these water ionizers because we were early. It's 50 years in and we're still early, just like the phone. Okay, so it's not a question of, well, I don't know if I'm gonna make money, Brandon. I don't know if people are gonna buy this. What do you mean? It's a $5.67 billion market. Our company does $1 billion in distribution every year. So you got to change your thinking. This is what you should be looking at. If I took this business on Shark Tank, they would say, I'm in. Because we got the revenues, we've got the distribution, and we've got the people to sell it. That's what Shark Tanks look. Go watch Shark Tank. This is what they look for. You have an opportunity. This is your Shark Tank moment. Okay, and I'm passionate right now because some of you guys are going to get up tomorrow. You're going to go to work for pennies when you could be out here changing lives with us. All right. So let me explain exactly how we get paid. I'm jumping ahead of myself because you guys got me fired up right now. Okay. So there's 9 reasons why, or actually, let's just go back here. Okay. So low ticket versus high ticket. All right. Now, most businesses that you hear, they're low ticket businesses. Your travel clubs, your berries, your juices, $150 product. You earn 20% commission. In fact, I was looking at a travel club the other day. They earn $20 a sell. What am I supposed to do with that? I can't even buy my kid a remote control car with that. Like, I can't even go to breakfast with that. My breakfast costs $40, right? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with a $20 or $30 commission. Okay. This is not the way to go. Not in 2025. Okay. And the reason why is because if you want to make $1,000, you're only gonna, you'd have to sell 35 products a month, which is ludicrous. 167 products a month to make you 5,000, 10,000 products $10,000 a month, 334 products, and that's assuming you're at a 50% closing ratio and you talk to 668 people every single year. Or sorry, every single month. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Now listen, some people say, but Brandon, I'm in real estate. Yeah, but you got to drive people around every day away from your kid. You got to go to open houses on the weekends. You got to do a bunch of paperwork. You, and then when you sell that house, you then got to go find another buyer, right? I know so many realtors. I'm just keeping it funky with you right now because I got realtors on my team that I've been saving. I know so many realtors when they get to the end of the road, they don't have anything. They're like, yo, I worked 28 years. I don't got anything. Right? I'm just being honest with you. I know a lot of these people, or seasonal. It's kind of like a pumpkin latte. It's seasonal. One season is good. One, yo, this business that I'm showing you right now, it's been good through COVID, through the market crashes, through everything. 50 years. Okay. It's reliable. Now look at this. With this business, $10,000 a month, 4 sales. Did you know I can make the same amount as your average realtor with just 1 or 2 sales a month, and I don't even have to get out of my pajamas? Like, it's crazy. I'm just being honest with you. Okay. And $10,000 a month over here is minimum wage. Okay. Now, 9 reasons why we love the business: high commissions, no overhead, no inventory, no deranking, which means that once you hit a certain level, you're always there. Passive income. Love passive income. In fact, I'll show you a couple checks. I mean, I got checks everywhere. I got one here for 13,000 here, got some for 14, 15. They're just everywhere. Okay. It's a global movement, right? Back during the pandemic, I packed up everything. I went to Portugal, didn't speak Portuguese, didn't know the language with this business. And then when I was out there, made millions of dollars out there from my bedroom. Okay. Personal development, no door knocking, no cold calling. And man, when I tell you we got a done for you system, fire. Okay. Now the compensation plan is patented, and that's probably why you're here. You're like, Brandon, okay, how do we make the money? You have me at hello. How do we do it? Okay, this is how we do it. The compensation plan is patented, so nobody else in the world has this compensation plan. Okay. Now, let me break this down to you. All right. So our flagship product is the Level Look Arcade. We talked about that. Okay. So the price of this product is about $6,381, $6,380 Canadian, $5,890 USD. Now, before you get shocked, right? Before you get sticker shock, chill. Okay. Let your cortisol levels come down. If you need me to say a prayer, I can do that, but just hold on for a second, because you've been conditioned to run from the very thing that's going to set you free. So hear me out. Okay, that's why I'm being transparent. I'm telling you the price. I'm not hiding anything, because you need to learn something. Okay. Now, this is the price of the product, but there's a difference between the price and the cost of something. Okay. I know how to make this free. I can't guarantee that, but I know how to do it. Okay. I'll explain that here in just a second, and I'll show you how you can make this free. Okay. Now, most people that get started with this business or just buy this machine, they use other people's money, which is, zero money down. Okay. This is what all rich people do. Again, they use zero money down. Now, this is how this works, and I'm going to show you how to make this free here in just a second. Okay. Every time one of these machines are sold, the company's paying out a whopping 56% on the sale. Okay. Now, that means that every time a unit's paid out in Canada, $3,280 is the commission, 2,800 is in the US. But they break it up into points, right? So each point is worth $410. Okay. Now, the way that you collect all these points is through your franchise lanes. Remember, we call this a franchise prototype. These are called franchise lanes. These are like owning McDonald's locations, right? And you can buy up to 6 locations at one time, 6 franchise lanes. Now, how this works is it's incentives. So like if I just start out with 1 unit, I'm gonna start out at 1A, my first sell, I'm gonna get 410. Okay. But then my third sell, I'm gonna get $820 in Canada, and the US is 720. So you can see the US prices below. 10 sales, I'm getting $1,000 per transaction. That means that every time I sell a unit, I get $1,000. Actually, it's 1,200. 20 sales, now I'm getting 1,600. 50 sales, 2,000. 100 sales, $2,400. Now, I don't have to make all these sales. Okay, that's why it says group sales, which means that my franchise prototypes under me, when they make a sale, okay, I can actually make points off of their sales. It's like when McDonald's sells a hamburger, they get a royalty off every single hamburger that's sold. Okay, we pretty much get the same thing. So let me show you how this works. Right. So let's say you sell one unit to a guy named James, right? You're going to get $410 from that first sale. Not bad. James doesn't have to sell anything. He could just be a customer. Okay. Now let's say the next person is Ashley. Okay. Ashley buys a machine. Now you get $410, but Ashley's like, hey, B, I want to refer these to people. Right. So Ashley, her first month comes in and refers 4 units. She's going to get paid 410, 410, 820, 820, 820. But guess what? You're going to get 5 checks for $410. Automatically show up in the mail. I mean, it's insane. Okay? Then your next person you sell one is to Ricky. Now you get paid $820 because Ricky's in your 2A lane. Because remember, you have 3 to 10 sales now. Now, what ends up happening here is Ricky's like, man, I want to refer this as well too. He starts his own franchise center. He refers 5 units his first month, right? 410, 410, 820, 820, 820 is what Ricky would get paid his first month. But you would get 5 checks for $820. My friend, think about that. Somebody refers 5 of these machines. That's almost $5,000. Okay? Passively. This is how I take my kids to Disney, travel the world. This is how we make plans. Okay. I'm telling you. Okay. 11 through 12 sales now. Okay. Maybe you only did 2, but Ricky and Ashley did 8. Okay. Or 9. And now you got 11. Now Jen comes in, you're getting $1,230 per sale. Let's say Jen's a go-getter. Okay. And her first month, she does 10 sales. This actually happened in my business. Okay. She's going to get paid 400, 400, and then all these 820 checks are going to show up in the mail for her. And she's going to love you. Okay, but guess what? You're going to love her too, because you're going to get a whopping $1,200 per sale. Okay, so all those transactions that she did, the company's going to cut you a check because you were the person who helped her open up her franchise center. Mind-blowing. Okay, and then it just keeps going. Okay, it goes to 5A, which now basically is going to pay is essentially going to pay you. So let's say that sorry, I'm going to jump back here. Okay. So at 5A, you're basically going to get paid $1,600 per sale, which means that essentially if you enroll another person, they come in, you're going to make $1,600 off all their sales, and then it's going to go to 6A, which is $2,460. Okay, per sale. Now that's if you start with 1 unit. Okay, now watch this. All right, this is where the business gets good. So remember I showed you those my kids, right? I showed you my kids and all those dashes. That's what this is. This is called legacy income. Okay, what is legacy income? Legacy income is where you build something with your a team, and you can pass it on to your kids. So what a Magic does is when you hit 6A, which is 100 units, they basically are going to give you a $3,000 bonus plus 4 other bonuses every single month. Okay. Once you get to 6A2, you get $6,000 bonus, but you also get $18 a month and $22 a quarter. Okay. And then you also get, so those quarterly bonuses are crazy. 6A2-2, all this means is that this person sold 100 machines, this person sold 100 machines, this person sold 100 machines. Not all himself, but their franchise group. Okay. And then it's the same thing under here. It's just that these 2 people both have 2 people under them that sold 2 franchise centers. Okay. So then you get a $12,000 bonus here plus $18 a month and $25 a quarter. Okay. Then at 6A2-3, you hit the legacy bonuses. Okay. So my wife just hit this, which means that she gets $5,000 a month for the rest of her life. My wife. Okay. That was something that for my wife taking care of the kids, for my wife holding down the crib, for my wife doing all the real job, which is raising these kids, I gifted her, okay, this business that she helped build. Okay, meaning by like taking care of the kids and stuff like this. Now she has her own stuff. Okay, so now she can depend on that money coming in every single month to do whatever she needs to do. Okay, and let me tell you, she does things right. But my wife's more the type of person like she'll go donate $20,000 to the church. That's what she does with her money. Okay, um, and then she also gets $14 off every single sale, and then she gets the quarterly bonuses. 62-4, this is the rank that I just hit. Okay. In fact, next week, I'm going to pick up over 120 grand, something like that, from these two ranks because we own the 6A2 and the -2 positions. You might not understand what all that means, but the company's going to literally hand me a check in person. Okay, for another 100 grand. Plus, I'm getting my quarterly bonuses and my monthly bonuses. Guys, it's insane. Like, this is real life. Okay. Then it goes to 682-5. You get a $100,000 bonus, $15,000 a month. 682-6, $200,000 bonus, $20,000 a month. -7, $40,000, $400,000, and -8, $800,000, $80,000 a month. Can you imagine passing your kids down 80 grand? Wild. All right, so let's end this. This is my last slide here. Actually, I got one other one after this. Okay. So let me show you how this quad plus works. And I recommend starting with the quad or quad plus, but let me just show you how the quad plus works. Okay. So the quad plus basically means that you're going to get $2,131 instant cash back. This is in Canada. Now it might be a little less in the US, okay, but not by much. I'm just giving you Canadian prices, okay, because there's like a 30% hike up because of the dollar. So what this setup does is it allows you to start off at 5A commissions right up front and earn and basically instead of having to wait 50 group sales. So you would personally get 2 K8s, 3 Ukons, and 1 shower unit. Okay. Now, basically what this means is that every time you make a unit sale, you're getting $2,000. Every time you make a quad sale, you're making a whopping $7,140. One sale. Let that sink in. You make one sale, you make $7,140, and the person that buys it can put zero money down. Let that sink in. Okay. So 3 quad pluses pays you back your investment. Also, you rank up faster. So you get to those legacy ranks faster like this. Okay. It's also a tax write-off. You have to talk to your CPA, your accountants. 6 distributor IDs. Now you can build 6 legacy positions like our family does, and people buy what you buy. Now, I want you to let this sink in. What else can you do legally or illegally? Shoot, for $7,140 for one sale. Imagine being at home, you do a phone call, you invite somebody to a webinar like this, and you make $7,100. That's crazy. I got people doing that right now. Insane. On top of all the other legacy bonuses and all that stuff that I was telling you about. Imagine that. Okay. I'm not even supposed to do this, but I'm going to show you how crazy this is. Okay. Because I want you to understand what I'm telling you is the truth. Okay. About what can happen here. Now I'm going to show you something real quick. But before I do that, let me close this out. A quad plus, if you make one sale every single month for 12 months, it's $98,000 a year guaranteed. 2 sales is $196,000. 3 sales is $294,000. 4 sales is $392,000 every single year. Okay. What else are you going to do? That one sale makes you 6 figures. 2 sales makes you almost multiple 6 figures. 3 sales makes you almost 300K, and 4 sales makes you almost a half. What else are you going to do? And you can do this from home. Okay? You can do this from home. I work from home. I work from home. My kids are in the other room. I mean, I don't know what else there is to talk about. What else is there to do? Okay, look at this. I'm gonna be totally transparent with you. Okay. Look at this. That is look at the date. 9/23/25. That's 13,172 USD. So in Canada, that's like around probably 18 grand. That's just sitting around. That's just chilling. What would you do with this type of money? Now is the time. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with this because I don't want to keep you too long. All right. If not now, then when? When else in your life are you going to come across an opportunity like this for somebody who has sold a lot of these units to be able to really, really teach you exactly how to be successful? Okay. When? Like, if not now, then when? Right? Why does my family deserve to take trips, travel the world, do all the things while your family suffers? Right? What point are you going to make a change and say, you know what? I realized I was bamboozled by the school system. I was mollywopped by college, and somehow our family got stuck in poverty. At what point are you going to change? Okay. At what point? Now is the time that I'm giving you to lock arms with me, lock arms with the community, lock arms with the person that brought you here. Don't ask a bunch of questions. Get started. I showed you my high school transcript. I'm a D student. I'm a flunky. You probably got all these degrees, all these certifications, all these accolades, but you can't even afford to go on vacation. I'm just being honest. At what point do you say, Brandon, I'm ready to go? The system deceived me. Okay. Now is that time. Okay. Now is that time. So I want you to get back to the person that invited you here and tell them that you're ready to go. You want to get started with the zero down cashback option. They will help you. Now is the time. Lock arms with us because I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those opportunities where you look back and say, you know what? This dude who was a high school flunky told me about water ionizers 10 years ago. And while we're on the beach chilling, minding our business, hanging out with our families, you're still going to be working for somebody because Santa Claus ain't coming to save you. I'm sorry. The tooth fairy's not coming. Your pastor, he ain't coming to save you. You got to make some choices, my friend. Okay? You got to make some choices. So get back to the person that invited you here and have them go over the options of getting started. Okay? But I'm going to tell you, whatever it costs less than working 9 to 5 for 30 years. Hello, somebody. I definitely tell you it costs less than that. Okay? I retired my wife over 15 years ago when she came home crying from TELUS. Okay, I said, you're never going to have to go back to that thing again. Okay, I want this for you. I do. I want this for you. I don't want this for me. I'm good. I want this for you. Okay. Now, again, let me tell you why I want this for you. Okay, because you got to see things to believe things. Okay, again, this is my Facebook page. These are my real high school transcripts. I posted them October 7th. Okay, look at this. Here was another check. Remember, I showed you the other one. I showed you this one right here. Okay. This one was was in September also. Here's two more. Okay. 14,000 here, 7,000 here. Okay. That's just a couple more checks right there. Okay. And again, I'm not sharing with you. I'm not sharing this to you to brag. I'm sharing you this because this is reality. Okay. You don't have to work for pennies, right? You can do this. Okay. Now, what does this allow me to do? Okay. This is a trip that I just took. Look at this, $17,000 in checks in September 30th. Okay. This is us at the airport. This is my kids. I homeschool my kids. I don't have to put them in the traditional school system. All this, oh, they're going to be socially awkward. They're not going to be able to function in society. Yo, my kids speak 2 languages. How many many languages does your kid speak? Right? Like, you got to think about that. My kids are smart. They homeschool. This beautiful lady coaches them every day. Okay. We don't like, I'm telling you, you've been tricked. My kids are very intelligent. They're poised. They're smart kids. and they're Christian kids, and they're good kids. Okay, this is me and my son. Look at this, September 27th. This is at Disneyland. Okay, this is at Disneyland with my kids. Right, like this is what is possible. Look at this. Disneyland was sold out the day I went. I had to pay extra. I paid $1,300 to go to Disneyland because they were sold out. Right, but when you got the bread, you like, listen, I don't care what it costs. Just give me California Adventures. Give me, and we didn't even go to California Adventures. Just give me everything. Right? This is options in life. This is what I want for you. Okay, that same week, look at this, September 26th. We went to one of the most fancy restaurants right at the beach. What beach was that? I can't remember what beach is that. Okay, steakhouse right on the beach. Look at this, ribeye chopped, apple crisp, 12-ounce filet, pecan pie, calamari, meatballs, a whole lobster. My wife ordered a whole lobster. Right? Look at this. $1,100 for the bill. Brandon, are you bragging? No, I'm a D student from the hood. Okay. No. If you grew up like I grew up, you'd be excited about this too. Because I didn't have this experience growing up. Okay. I want this for you. Okay. I want this for you. Okay. This is my kids going to In-N-Out for the first time in LA by LAX. Okay. We were having a blast. Okay. I want this for you. Okay. We went to Legoland too. This is me taking my son driving go-karts. Look at this, September 7th. This is how my months look. Okay. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you the truth. Okay. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. This is some of our local people. Okay. That's Allison. That's Steve. That's Chris. That's Vicente. That's Natalia. Listen, guys, like, get with us. Okay. This is just a couple. Okay. We got a lot of people here. Okay. I could keep going. This is me and my wife at Gucci. This is back when COVID was going on with the mask, but she looked really beautiful in this picture, so I like to post it. But listen, I can keep going on and on and on and on and on. My point is that keep going. And it's not just about money. Look at this. This is organic meat. Okay. I don't buy meat from the superstore. I don't buy meat from the regular grocery store. I go to the farm. Okay. I go to the farm and get my meat. No hormones, no additives, none of that crap. Okay. I go straight from farm to table. Okay. And I can spend $200 on what? 4 steaks, 3 steaks, right? This is what I want for you. Okay. This is what I want for you. So if you want this, okay, if you want this type of lifestyle, I'm your guy. Come get coached, come learn, come grow, lock arms with us. Okay. So here's my advice. Oh, in fact, this is me, Lisa and Rich and Paul. Okay. Like, guys, I'm telling you, like, this is a movement here. Come get with us. All right. So I'm gonna leave it here. The ball's in your court, but this is it. Okay. This is it. Lock arms with us. Take advantage of everything that's going on right now. Again, I'm not sharing this to brag. This is old stuff to me. I'm sharing this to light a fire under you. So that way you can literally go do some things to save your life. Okay. And if you don't want to do it for the money, do it for the health. Do it for your kids. You owe it to them. Okay. Get your kids better drinking water. Get your kids organic foods. Get your kids organic meats. Do it for them. All right. So with that being said, I hope you got some value from this. I look forward to those who are ready to lock arms, and we'll chat more very soon. Take care.